Okay guys, so the first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be using a spoolie brush. I usually bend it on an angle. I prefer an angle just because it's much easier for me to use. What I usually do is I will take the spoolie and brush my brows up just to make sure it's neat. You want to start off with a clean base before you start to do your brows. I find that that is the best way to do it. If your brows aren't done, it won't really pop. So you want to make sure your brows are clean. And if you're growing them out because someone fucked it up like they've done for me in the past, then you want to just make sure that you're cleaning up the area, the arc, because that's the most important thing. You don't want to have like hairs sticking out because it's really tacky. So I will be using BH Cosmetic brushes. These are the brushes that I've been using for like a very long time. They're super easy to use and they're super affordable, so I wouldn't recommend anything else, especially if you're starting off in the beginning. You don't need to buy an expensive brush. All these brushes are made from synthetic hair, so it's not like it's made from human hair. I've tried Morphe, I've tried Sigma, and I've tried Sephora brushes and MAC brushes, which is like overly priced, but I feel like BH Cosmetic brushes, they run around the same quality, so there is no reason for you to get an expensive brush, especially if you're starting out. I was looking a little ashy there. What I usually do is I take my concealer, favorite concealer. I can't let go of it, I'm sorry, because I like the consistency. It's not too runny and it's not too thick. So what I do is I take this little mirror thing that you use to mix your makeup with, and that's what I'll be using to shape my brows. Now for my brows, what I do is I like to outline it first as opposed to shading it and then outlining it. This is just a preference for me. Makeup isn't really, there's no right or wrong way of doing makeup as long as you know what you're doing, okay? Everyone's technique is different, and that's why I adore this whole process, because people can tell you to do this or do that, but whatever works for you, whatever way your hand works is what you're gonna do. And this is a BH Cosmetic brush. I don't remember the number or the name, but it's like a small concealer brush, like a very small concealer brush, and I like this because it has precision, so it gets in the corners that I want it to get in. It kind of creates a shape for me, right? I don't like the square brushes. I've tried those, and I've also tried the angle brushes, but these work a little bit better for me for my hands because I'm left-handed too, so it's a little bit different for me. So I know it kind of looks different when you guys are looking at me, but this is what I prefer. So we're gonna just take the concealer, and you want to just go with the shape of your brows. You don't want to make it look different. And I find that a lot of people make that mistake, is they try to like create a shape that's not theirs, and that's how their brows end up looking kind of weird. So go with the shape of your brows. I remember when I first started I first hit 3 years ago when I wanted to start doing YouTube. I was like so like nervous because my skin was really bad then, and I was on birth control. It was like my acne was bad and my scar was bad, but now I got off of it. My skin's becoming much more better. I still have my scars, but like I'm more confident like to sit in front of you guys and, you know, do this. I think that was one thing that was really discouraging me, and I also got distracted. I was making excuses for myself, but yeah. So like I said, you're gonna just want to trace the shape of your brows. So as you can see, I didn't go over, so I'm just tracing the outline of my brows, and I'm just bringing it here to kind of, you know, close it off. So they always say you want your eyebrows to look like sisters, not twins. As you can see, this has always been short, so I usually take the product I'm going to be using to extend it, but you want to make sure that they look like sisters. They don't have to look like twins, okay? Don't feel bad if your brows don't match, okay? It's always been a struggle for me, and I always have bad brow days too, guys, so please don't beat yourself up about it. No matter how much you get this technique down pat, you're always gonna have some days that your brows are not gonna, because your brows grow, they're hair, it's hair, right? So it's expected, but you want to make sure that they look like sisters, not twins. They don't have to look like twins, so don't be like so overly like stressed out about it, because it's not worth it. All right. So the product I'll be using next to fill in my brows is the obviously Anastasia Dip Brow, and this is in the shade Chocolate. As you can see, I've used a lot. So what you're gonna want to do is fill in your brows, and just kind of go from there. You don't want to go over the line. I started seeing this trend on Instagram, like people like stroking their brows. I don't really like it. I don't know. Maybe because I don't know how to do it, but like I've seen some people's work and it's like oh wow, you know, it's nice. And then someone's like, why does your brow look like that? What I'm doing is I'm starting off from the bottom, I'm filling out the bottom, and I'm just brushing the product up to the top just to kind of give it like a natural flow. So it's stroking it up because that's the way my brows grow. They kind of grow out this way. You never want to like kind of like fill it in like that. You're gonna want to do it in the direction that your brows are growing, right? Like I had my camera sitting for years. Like I had stuff going on with me, you know. I don't know what most of you guys know. I was in a car accident, so my life changed drastically. Like I had severe PTSD and anxiety. Started seeing a counselor, and he's like, why don't you continue what you're doing, you know, like don't let the accident affect you. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. But like I also had like other things that stopped me from doing it because it's like, you know, like I said, my skin was really bad too. I was really stressed out, birth control, all that, life happens. And yeah, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take that and just blend out the product. I know some people, they use like a darker shade at the top, but I prefer to use a lighter shade. I don't really care as long as you know how to blend it out properly, because you're gonna put your foundation over it anyway. So you just want to blend out the product. You don't want to have those like trace lines. I remember back in the day when everyone started doing their eyebrows, people used to have those lines. I'm like, whoa. And it's like, oh yeah, it looks good. It looks like you just did. I'm like, no, girl, we look crazy. Like when you know when you like go in your archives on Facebook or on Instagram, you kind of, what the fuck was I doing with my brows? Like was this really what I was doing? So yeah.
Alright guys, I'm going to be taking a beauty blender. I'm doing a voiceover because my mom came in and she was using the washer, so it was a lot of noise. I'm going to be taking my beauty blender. Sorry it's a little bit dirty. I used it yesterday. I'm going to be taking concealer and I'll be putting on my eyelids. This is what I use to prime my eyes. It helps. It's better than any eye primer that I've used so far. And this just creates a sturdy foundation so that the product that I'll be using on my eyelids does not crease. I don't know if you guys have used this before, but this is the best method. Most people are doing it these days. Spending money on eye primer is just useless. I don't even know if they still sell them, but if they do, it's a waste of money. Don't get them. I'll be taking Ruby Kisses powder. This is what I'm going to be using for my eyelids as well. This just helps as a setting powder to go over the concealer because I'm not using any eyeshadow. This just kind of goes in with the shade of my skin, so as you can see, I'm blending it in properly with the blending brush just to make sure that I'm getting all the parts evenly and to avoid creasing. So I'll be taking lashes that I got from the hair store. I don't have the pack. I believe it's one of the iKiss lashes, and I'll be using hair glue, so ratchet, I know, to put the lashes on with a tweezer. As you can see, I'll have a video about how to put on lashes with a tweezer maybe later on down the road, but this is the easiest way that I found. As you can see, I placed it on my lashes. Super easy, not hard to do at all. After I'm done putting on my lashes, I'll be taking the Lashcraft Sephora mascara just to kind of fill in my actual lashes at the bottom to blend in with the false lashes. And this just helps create like a natural look. You know, you don't want to have like, you know, your lashes sticking out, especially when there's like powder on it. Kind of looks weird. Moving on to one of my favorite things to do is to put on foundation. I'm using the MAC Matchmaster in shade 8.0. I go a shade darker in the summer. So I'm going to be putting the foundation on a plate, and I'll be using my Sonia Kashuk brush that I got from Target a while back. To prime my skin, I'll be using the Urban Decay Up All Nighter spray. This just helps with setting my foundation and making sure that everything goes on smoothly, and it's a little bit mattifying and stays on longer as well. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This will be in the shade number 30 underneath my eyes, and this is what I'll be using to highlight. I'll also be mixing it with the LA Girl Pro-Concealer in Pro Tan that I use for my eyebrows, and just a little bit, just a little shade, lighter shade, just to make it pop a little bit more, and it'll all come together. As you can see, I'll be blending with my beauty blender, and I'll be going from one side to the other just to make sure that the products are evenly distributed. In case I put too much concealer on one side, I'll make sure that I blend it out properly on both sides. I also do it on my nose and on my forehead. Yikes. Now that we look a little too ashy, we're going to want to, warm it up with our Fenty Beauty Espresso contour stick. And this will help to, bring down those, weird looking tones. My face looks super flat right now, so I need to add some definition to it. And I know I look crazy, but trust me, it'll all come together when I use my Real Techniques buffing brush. And this is an amazing brush. Trust me, see the magic that it does. So after we're done that, I'm going to be using my MAC Deep Dark Setting Powder just to make sure that all the creams stay in one place. And I'll be using my powder brush for that. Just want to go over any areas that is glossy and make sure that it mattifies it and the product is not removed. The Beauty Blender and my Marcelle Setting Powder, which is translucent. And this will help set the powder, the concealer under my eye and make sure that it doesn't give me any flashbacks. Now that we're looking extremely crazy, we gotta make sure that we try to, dust off all that white powder. And I'm using the MAC Deep Dark again just to kind of go over it and make sure that it blends in properly. That's the secret. Okay, you don't want to look ashy, and I don't really bake for long. I bake for like less than 30 seconds, and I use that brush to kind of go over the translucent powder. What is that? Like, honestly. And I use that to kind of blend it all properly and make sure that it blends out evenly. Okay, so this is where it all comes together. This is my baby. I love this shit so much. If you have the money, get it. It's only $22 from Morphe. It is a setting spray. Look at what it does when I spray my face with it. Too much? I know, but trust. I'll be taking my James Charles palette and I'll be using 2 colors from there for underneath my eyes and as a blush. So you guys probably thought I forgot about the nose, but I didn't. I'll be taking my pressed powder from MAC, and this is in the shade NW45, and I'll be using that to contour my nose to make it snatched, okay? Now when I contour my nose, I use a brush to kind of define it, and then I use my fingers to blend it out, as you'll see in the upcoming clip. I play around too much, but I'll be using my Carly Bible palette from Cosmetic to highlight my face, and it's such a beautiful color. I don't know the name, unfortunately, but it's like a nice golden, rose gold color. So I'll be going in with my Lash Craft mascara again from Sephora, just for the bottom lashes, like my very bottom lashes, just to give me that look, so my eyes can stand out properly, and you'll see what it is. You can skip this step. This is just my preference to kind of highlight my beauty marks that I had before my foundation was on. I'm just going to put a dot there and a dot on my upper lip. And my baby and I are back, and we are in love, and I'm doing this again. Spray my whole face, make sure that I'm good. And this sets the whole, like my whole makeup. I have like 4 of these. Look how much I have. 4. I got 4. They were $11 each on sale. I'm going to be prepping my lips with the same beauty blender just to make sure that I create a base, and I'll be using my Wet n Wild Beauty lip liner, and this is like a dark brown shade. I love this. It's $1.99 at Walmart, and this is what I use to line my lips. Taking my favorite lip trio, and I'll be using it for my lips. I'll be starting off with my NYX lingerie, lip lingerie, for the base. This is base. This is like the mattifying lip, and I'll be rubbing that in, and then I'll be going on to my Revlon lip gloss. I'll be using my Fenty Gloss Bomb to top it off and to give that frosted look. I love this shit. It smells so good and it's so bomb. Like literally bomb.com. Alright, now we gotta get this hair situation sorted. It looks kind of crazy. There's a frontal that I made myself, and I'm just trying to straighten it out, make sure that all that, those kinks are gone, and make sure it flows very well and it looks bomb. Look at that. Look at the quality of that hair. Once I run the flat iron through it, look at it. Girl, you are too good. We are done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.